And my idea today is not so much to give a presentation, but to make you work.
This will be interesting.
To make you work. So I was very impressed and very touched actually by the new vision for Rotary, that is IMAGINE. So the idea of IMAGINE for me touched me. One of the work I do is neuroscience. I do research in neuroscience. And when I saw IMAGINE, of course, I translate almost everything into philosophy and neuroscience. And I said, how does this word imagine? And it's fascinating that in the brain, there is a part of the brain that is the seeking part of the brain. There are a few areas of the brain that when you touch that, it creates that behavior. The other ones are more philosophical, but there are no parts in the brain. But the seeking part of the brain is a part of the brain. The other part of the brain is the play. No, it's the play. You press that, and usually the animals start playing, but it's also in the humans too. So when I look at IMAGINE, it's a very clever vision. It had to trigger inside us what is the center for seeking. And what is seeking? Seeking in the animal world is, you see that a dog that is smelling everything and is looking for nothing. It's just the seeking part. They cannot not do it. And this is the spirit of creativity. Like the children that put together seeking and play. They play, they try this, they try that. And in that area we will learn. So creativity and innovation, I think there are things that are part ingrained in our brain. And sadly, now when we become a little bit older, no, the usual education, the educational system, they crush that. No? And instead of continue dreaming and continue imagining, you need to do what it is. So this is my warm up with the word imagine.
Can I just say the word to seek, it feels as though it does have kind of a purpose and object, whereas curiosity for me is really explorative.
Yeah, but as I mentioned to you, the seeking in the animal is seeking nothing. It's just the neuroscience Jack Pankseck. He called it seeking, but he's seeking for nothing. So it's like the animal that smells everything, but it's not looking for food. It's not looking for prey. It's just the seeking is seeking wonder.
Something to do. Wonder, yeah.
I think it's more a concept of wonder. This is what I connected with curiosity.
Yeah. Okay.
It's different than if you have a goal.
The seeking is probably more the imagination, because with imagination, you're not looking for anything, you're using your brain to imagine they're sort of almost together sort of thing.
Excellent. Thank you.
It's Christo.
Christo. Very nice meeting you, Christo.
Nice to meet you, and you're nice and clear and loud. I can hear you good.
Very good. So I hope what I'm saying is useful too. Not only clear. So this is the idea. So this was my internal connection when I heard the word imagine. And then I connected to the method I developed that is called the play of life. And the play of life is also based on neuroscience. And the idea is that in the brain, everything we do is based on emotions. 100% what we do is based on emotion. This is the neuroscience research. But when every emotion is good, it's fantastic and we flow. But when the emotions trigger in us of fear, or the sense of failure, or unfamiliarity, the frontal part of the brain cannot handle that. And that blocks that part of the brain and creates a story. Creates a story that is called a cognitive bias. And we all have it. And it's called, in neuroscience, it's called a sense of knowing. So we create that story, the narrative, and we believe that is what it is. But it's our creation. It's our creation. So when we ask somebody, how are you? The story is in a part of the brain that is not verbal. but we respond from that cognitive bias. And the story I tell is this, the myth in the Bible, that's myth, a story, when God said to Adam, no, who knows the story of Adam and Eve, God said to Adam, what happened? Adam, who ate something he shouldn't have eaten, instead of collapsing and saying, oh, I'm so sorry, I made a mistake, I don't know what happened, I'm so sorry, what did he say?
One of his wife.
Yeah.
More than
Which
that,
is a good thing.
It's a snake.
more than that, he said, the woman you gave me made me do it.
Yes.
So this is, but it's not that Adam lied to God. We lie to ourselves, and we believe that. So as a psychotherapist, as a psychiatrist, when I ask somebody, how are you? You have all the story. We know that this is the sense of knowing. I created that issue, that story. And then I worked as a corporate consultant for many, many years until now. And it's the same. You work with the CEO. What is the problem you face? Head of marketing. What is the problem you face? Is this. Well, maybe another story. And the other story is what we find accessible part of the brain that there are not verbal. There is the limbic system and the reptilian part of the brain. So we bypass that barriers and go to another story. And that connects what I said before, play. We do that through play. So today, I'm going to make you play. Okay? This is what it's called. Play and play.
So this is enforced play.
Enforced play.
Yeah, are we going to try?
I'm from Argentina,
That's the
so dictatorship. So I'm very well trained.
it's a
on that.
dichotomy.
So this is a technique, but in the play of life, something that Melanie can tell you more on another time. The techniques we have are not techniques. Of course they are, but there are ways of thinking. How to start thinking differently in the way to have some tools to live a good life. I would like to say that too. Before, I used to say, and in everything I've written, it says living a better life. But I was talking to a psychologist in Venezuela. You have the map here? Can you go to the map again? Venezuela. And he works a lot with the indigenous in the Andes. And here is, he's blue on the top, is Venezuela. Yeah. So he worked with all people in the Andes, especially with indigenous people. And when I said to him, because he's studying the play of life, I said to him, our goal is a better life. And he said, Carlos, you know that we are not using that term anymore. We are using the term a good life. So tell me more about it. There's a lot of research on that. That the aim in life is not to have a better life, to have a good life. Un buen vivir in Spanish. And what is that? That triggers into the brain what we really need, not what we want. That creates our satisfaction for life. Because it's better to what? Better to you, better to me, better to China, better to Russia. This is one of the biggest conflicts in the world. Yeah. So this is very new. Only a few weeks ago, I started changing my goal. That instead of saying a better life, just a good life. But it's not just. Not just. And this is the aim. So the exercise I'd like to play with you is a way of thinking. And it's based on the imagine. We're picking that vision. And I'm going to divide the group in two. The good people on this side and the better ones on the other side. Yes, right.
Yeah, that's how you're
And if someone can connect with Cristo, with Cristo, so Cristo can contribute.
I'll connect with Chris.
Contribute to the what we're
Let
doing.
someone else.
Okay? I need for you to stand up. Stand up. We're going to have two groups. One on this side of the table, and the other one on the other side of the table.
So you have to join in.
Get out of it. It's a reframing exercise.
I'm just checking which ones have. Only one has props.
Only one has strikes.
Okay. So need some people here? So what we're going to do is, this is again a way of thinking. And instead of talking, when we talk, we're stimulating again the brain. And it's rotating what we already know. When we play, we start accessing other areas. The exercise I'm going to use here now is a snapshot. We usually do it in corporate with long time and takes time to reflect, because the information that gives is massive, but now it's just a play. Okay? So instead of talking, of course you're going to talk, but I'd like for you to use the figures, that is the play of life figures. The play of life figures, you can open that. So I need one group there, go there, and then I